All right, let's see what happens. We often speak about information spiritual warfare, but the trading really happens with the human beings in this system is energetic currency. When they are using externally the mechanically printed papers or numbers to trade, there is in parallel there is another kind of trading happens. Let's see if we can use some examples how we navigate these energetic warfare, energetic information, spiritual warfare, all in one. This is what they have unleashed on humanity. But if we, because like I said many times, it's not because we know everything, we have answers to everything, but we're navigating spiritual information, informational and energetic warfare. And perhaps the whole thing is set up so we can perfect ourselves by getting to know multi-layered existence and complicated or what does it mean to be a human at this time. And it is external world is always there so we can figure some things out. We can heal, we can recognize, we can release. We have this opportunity by recognizing patterns. So the energetic warfare, it is our operating system after all. It is the connection. This is why when you die, you don't have any kind of energy flowing through to maintain your vessel. So it is our operating system, like the equipments or the electronic equipments have no use unless if we have electricity. So it is something like this to figure out these pointers so we can improve ourselves, we can recognize really many loopholes and how this energetic frequencies warfare affecting us. But by recognizing the patterns, we have the ability to once again protect our existence because we have awareness, we have a clarity, we're connected, and we are very well aware about the energetic output and input. It's a really common sense at this point. We have monetary systems there to sort of judge and trade. Equally, we have energetic. All of that's necessary and possible and exist because we have something internal that we can figure things out internally to master this human gig with minimum suffering, maximum awareness, maximum connection. And we can use some examples. Now, when you see the energetic warfare, somebody can say, well, how do you come into this conclusion? It happens really early on when they have when I had to grow up in a really toxic with the extended family. Before that, I had interactions with my father. It was always, I don't remember all the words, but really very clearly, I remember how I felt and what does it mean to be around him. It's always, I am enough, I am perfect, there's nothing to add, nothing to be cautioned about. It's simply be, never hurt anyone and don't get hurt. This is the kind of ideas that I had in my mind when I tried to think about the relationship with my father. And every time if we go to a sort of a tea or a luncheon, he would say, don't look at me, you choose what you like. You have you can decide that for yourself. I have nothing to do with it, your preference, what you like. And also I really had a feeling he never liked me multitasking when I was with him during the school holidays. And he would always say, if we were looking at some beautiful sceneries, you know, we carry our little backpack and you have stickers you want to show them. He would always never encourage that. He's like, look, enjoy, look what you see out there, what do you see, the flowers and the beauty, and speak about that. So this is the kind of memories I had. Also, when we were going to the breakfast before he go to work, I see there is like a lot of steps to climb up and down. It's got rocks and steps, and he never really lift me up. Maybe rare occasions, but he was patient enough for me to figure my way up and down, although it could be he even running late. But I was always had a patience. He had patience for me to walk through a little bit of a stepping stone, really. So these are the kind of memories you have in your childhood. So you were already validated, you know you're enough, and you were treated with a lot of respect and kindness and gentleness and assertiveness. These were all the foundation for my existence. So getting back to what we were speaking about, how do we figure this energetic warfare when you come into these situations with the extended family, extreme level of toxicity. We speak about these things repetitively because it's not just my story, it's everybody's story. So we need to know these things, how to navigate what is really what information is important for us to take a moment and have a little bit time to reflect. So when they had this extreme criticism and judgment and manipulation, gaslighting, emotional, like the hostility, I've always sat back and wondered, I had nothing, I had no one. What is this hostility is all about? So you, although you never had enough knowledge and wisdom to even the words to describe these emotional stuff, the layers of our complicated existence, you know that it is so much more than the monetary. It is so much more than what you can do for them. It is the essence of child or innocence, the children that is highly connected to the source or much closer to the creator than anyone. So there is a level of hostility and sabotage by design they have unleashed on human offspring. But if you talk to or the educated, the law, the officers of the law, they would say, well, you know, the children, they consider art, they don't really have much worth and a monetary value. So this is the lawyer friend slash client you have all the time in the world. you can create these dialogue and speak about necessary things. So we know this is what the social structure is designed. There's no worth to children, regardless of where you are. It's all around the world. Occasionally you hear some snooty comments about people, because we have a hard time comprehending why there's so much suffering when it comes to children. Oh, well, you know, the people, the poor hungry kids, I don't really know why they have so many children when they don't have the monetary systems to support. It is really cruel, and we must stop that. But the correct questions we should be asking is why there is not enough for the children, why there is such a imbalances of resources that the youth and the human beings have to suffer and humiliate so effortlessly regarding these processes. And we know, we have a very clear idea why there is so many children from this spectrum of lack than the people who can afford to feed and clothe them, shelter them. There is a deliberate sabotage by manipulating the procreation through certain medical things. And we know these things happen regardless where you are from in the world. We know there are some areas there's nobody have children, and the other areas opposite side there have many, and perhaps they don't really have the means to support them perfectly. So this is kind of perfect imbalances we are facing. So it's a common sense for us to recognize these patterns. Now, when you have the institution set up that children are worthless or doesn't have much value because they're considered art, they all have this fixation about the youth and young. Everywhere you turn around in the elite circle, it's all about abusing and destroying, humiliating, and manipulating youth. This is what this war is all about. If you look at these the e-files, you know, the islanders, you know, the all the fixation about youth and young, and trying to get a hold of the young people to use and abuse in multi-layers systems, which we weren't there, but it's on the talk, and it's just a common sense because we can see what is really happening. It's not even just abusing them. I think they're cooking them up. It's horrendous situation that we had to wake up to. We don't know, we weren't there, we were protected somehow, but nevertheless, they already know what they're doing, what they're all about, how they use their authority and their knowledge and their information. So this is how we muster up the energetic warfare, because now we are capable of recognizing patterns. So the contrast between your childhood experiences and when you're older, when you're navigating information warfare, we have this level of awareness. The other factor is when we're labeling them, they are art, they have no value, they have no worth. How do you come into this conclusion? You can see these demonic gatekeepers in your childhood, the same group, people that have access to you. They have such a disregard for you, disrespect for your existence. They want to separate you so cold-heartedly. and I had this ability to clear up a room in a split second. This is how distaste I have for my existence, my life. But when you've gone through that, and on your personal level and the external world, they say the young people have not, they don't have much value. But or the point, although they really have a distaste and ignorance for your existence, they don't want to have any kind of acknowledgement. They want to know every single thing about you. They're micromanaging every single thing you do. You're writing your little booklet. They're gonna read that when you're not there. You're gonna wait for the mailman, the little girlfriends writing you letters, or the extended families. You wait, and they just take that away from you, and you have to figure out where they're hiding these things. So just because they don't put much worth to acknowledge you, and it doesn't mean that they are not paying attention to everything you do. The micromanagement in a personal level, we come to recognize these patterns, and the external world, they consider them art, but they cannot live without them. There's such a fixation. They chase after the little young people, the girls and boys. They manipulate them. They say, you can do modeling, you do a massage, whatever. They manipulate you, gaslight you, and program you. And MK Ultra, the mind control, when somebody's having a hard time figuring these things out, this is what happened in everyday person to the elite circle. So they have an extreme level of fixation about these worthless pieces of art. This is how you recognize the patterns of energetic warfare. So when we have this level of awareness, we have an opportunity to protect yourself. Now we're all grown up in the real world. You have the work. If somebody says, hey, there is an energetic warfare against us, they can't, they have unleashed this kind of mind control programming towards humanity, and we're confused because we haven't taken time to identify, to take time to reflect and identify patterns and recognize the lessons, and use your knowledge and wisdom to empower yourself, because we are not connecting the dots. So the Earth School, information, spiritual, energetic warfare. Now we need to know all these things and how to connect dots and how to protect ourselves. Now in the real world, when you're in the healthcare, perfect example, energetic warfare, how do you figure these things? How do you navigate this kind of information? I can come up with a perfect example every year, regardless of what sector you're working. It's sort of everything coming to the surface. Things become more stress, more trying, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Is really trying circumstances when you're dealing with. And what I'm familiar with, working with sickly in the healthcare industry, so we can say we have they come around the negotiation times. Nobody's able to give you a reasonable living salary increases. At some point, we have every time when the time comes, it says, well, hey, we are not able to do that appropriately because we have a block. The salary, there is a halt. You cannot anymore go higher. Now, this is a really perfect example. It does not mean when your salary stays still or just a humiliation coins, I say, because dime or a nickel or even a dollar is really not going to make much difference with the inflation and living standards. So now you're exposed to these kind of energetic warfare, and we cannot exclude that. Thinking is not. So they'll say very limited, but every single organization, whether your rent, the insurance, or the telephone, it doesn't matter. They so effortlessly jack up. They're not doing 5 cents increase. They're doing 20 or 10%, 20%. This is the kind of increases happen. They love these times. Every year goes by, the increases happen so effortlessly, yet the salary is not going up. In the meantime, they are squeezing the life out of you by causing more stress, micromanaging more, and also the work load is always increases because people are getting weaker by a monthly basis. You know, the nothing seems to help, so the medical industry consume them in a rapid pace, so that any kind of it doesn't really matter what area, it's get complicated from bottom to higher up. Things get extremely difficult and trying to participate in this kind of employment gigs. So where are they squeezing energy? Anyone is trying to protect themselves, do remedies, doing exercises, eating right, detoxing. You're doing all of these things to maintain a level of vitality, yet because of that reason, they have to go crazy over these sucking the life out of you energies. I mean, the vampires and demons have to eat too. How considerate. But we know exactly what's happening by this energetic warfare that is unleashed on people, and how you're supposed to protect by recognizing patterns, and you create substantial changes to protect your vessel before you get consumed. A quick example, when you look back, you know that everything in the external world, we're really quick to say it is all happening for you, and they are not the one to blame. It's always you, how you need to make adjustments. So when thinking back, what you really have a hard time come to terms with is why, for example, why you never said anything, why you never stood your ground, because you're afraid of losing, you're afraid of causing discomfort by addressing issues. This is people pleasing, right? We don't want to, we're walking on eggshells because we don't like to face the discomfort by confronting these situations. So when your father have validated your existence and loved you and stood strong, and when they do that, you have that foundation, so you're better off this way. But nevertheless, you're still iffy about your personal thoughts, how you perceive the information, how you confront these things. So you continuously blame yourself, why I didn't say anything, why didn't I confront this thing. Oh, I'm afraid I might have to go live somewhere else. I might have to deal with extreme level of hostility afterwards. So it's a fear-based life that you were living because you didn't use the information that you know it is not right, it's not appropriate, it's not accurate, because we have gone through extreme level of information warfare, manipulation, gaslighting, and uh, stalemate information, stalemate or swampy kind of existence, because this is the MK Ultra. So it's happening everywhere in a stages and a different circumstances they have set up for the humanity. So this is how we sort of navigate these complicated toxic situations. What they have unleashed on the humanity in a different layers, different social structures, different systems, different cultures, different religions. They have set that up so that we become so sickly we cannot comprehend any kind of accurate information, because it's there to sabotage, separate, definitely scare, because we seem to be so afraid of joy, peace, and love. And we don't even know how to exist in a peaceful environment because we are so mind programmed in different setups. The control grid out there, we have the categories. We're from this region, we're from that region, we're from this culture, we're from the this religion. So it's all stalemate, it's all swampy, it's all detours, going around circles, nothing happened, really hard to make a jump, and it's really happened to everyone in parallel in our human lives here. So this is why we need to recognize patterns and keep really on top of things so we don't get consumed. We can sort of protect our vessel and keep a little bit of sanity. Now, same thing, we know our own powers. For example, I was waiting a couple of years to go join my mother here. It never came to like couple of years I'm waiting to go abroad to go live with my mother. At this point, I remember really quickly. It was taking forever. It's never the papers don't go through. But what I remember really clearly is really nothing to do with immigration, nothing to do with paperwork. Everything was done, but I wasn't ready. Subconsciously, I want to, subconsciously, even consciously, I always want to be around. I always think about how are they going to manage this household? Who is going to open the windows? Who's going to close them? Who is going to do the chores? Who's going to help the meal preps? Who's going to water the garden? I always had this trauma bonding, and I thought it was my responsibility. I want to hang around to keep eye on things until I decided, hey, no more of this. I had enough. I remember some kids were saying, they weren't saying immediately, oh, hi, nice to see you. They were saying, oh, wow, you're still here. I had no idea. I thought you went to go live with your mom abroad. I'm really surprised. So this was becoming known for a while. It was kind of embarrassing. I was just ready to give up. But then I realized it wasn't anything to do with what needs to happen externally to make this transition. It was, I wasn't ready. I had doubts, and the moment I released myself from this trauma bonding, baggage. I also had a bit of love and care because it's a family that, you know, my dad's older brother and his wife, you know, regardless of the dysfunction and toxicity there was a bond and there was care, and I didn't want to leave that. So that was the thing. But the moment you decided no more, the papers come immediately in a matter of weeks. I did the transition. So just like that, when you are aware about your own stagnation of information warfare, spiritual warfare, energetic warfare, you're able to break free because you have awareness, you have connection. And this is why it's really important for us to recognize these patterns, because even the highly programmed MK Ultra, if they're doing to ordinary humans so unsuspectingly, we guarantee they done that really strongly to all the leading forces, the agents, to maintain these kind of deceitful system. They have gone through this. Even if they want to do better, want to come out clean, they are so far cornered, they don't know how to overcome. So it's really they can only show up as a mirror. It is the personal responsibility of ours to recognize these patterns and put them on notice. Protect your energies, protect your frequencies, follow your intuition, gut feelings, and be whole, and release the burdens of deception and all inaccurate information, because now we know we are seeing things as exactly they are, instead of different personal interpretation of a toxic trauma body existence. It's never going to help us to overcome anything. It's just perpetuating the stagnation of suffering, great deal of suffering, which we don't have to indefinitely. We can slowly introduce ourselves into wholesomeness, the joy, contentment, expanding your own uniqueness, your abilities, and your creation, because we have that inherently within us. Every single one of us have own unique ways of things and energetic blueprint. And when we come into this level of awareness and self-awareness, and have the ability to recognize patterns, life become much easier. And this is what mastering the human gig is all about. And let's see what happens next time. Until then, thank you.